I build muscle very easily and retain it very easily, but I put on fat just as easily, and if not more easily, and hard to shift it. And I've done one extreme thing after another, and in the recent years, in the last 8 years, it's been Cambridge. And I think that it's a very difficult process, because I think it obviously works for some people. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it works for some people, but it's the long-term results that are important. Here we are, Melfordian High Street, top of High Street. Here we are. There's the bull behind me, and swan over the road. It's the long-term results that are problematic, I find, with any sort of massively restrictive diet, is that you have to work through that phase. And Cambridge one-to-one, whatever it's called now, does have that part of it, that aspect, the working through the various stages where you reintroduce more food, the diet becomes less, the weight plan becomes less extreme in terms of ultra low calorie approach. And the idea, the thinking behind it is that at some point you will find your natural equilibrium, your point where you are balanced in terms of what you can take in and what you burn and use, and your lifestyle is supposed to adjust to this new normalcy, whereby you neither put weight on nor lose it, and you stay within a few pounds of your sort of target weight. And that's all very well in theory. It's great. Trouble is, from personal experience, I never got there. What happened to me is I successfully lost a load of weight. First time I did Cambridge, lost nearly 5 stone, and then ultimately I put it all back on again. And the reason why, and then more some, I was, when I started doing Cambridge the first time 8 years ago, I was starting from a point of being at least 1.5 stone lighter than I am right now, and this was terrible for me at the time. 18 something stone was ludicrous. I'd never been that heavy before in my life, and but what's happened is I've kind of twanged back from the various attempts to use Cambridge to control my weight, and put more weight on. And I think that it just, I came to the conclusion, the last time I tried it, I managed a week or 2 weeks on the ultra low, program, lost, 9 pounds, 10 pounds, 8, whatever, maybe 1 stone even in the next 2 weeks. And it is extreme, it does work, but if you can't work through the stages, what's going to happen is you'll just give up, and you'll just be craving the things that you've been denying yourself, because you haven't dealt with the root problem. The root problem is your mind, I feel. It's always your mind. The mind is the killer. It's not to do with the body, it's to do with the mind. It's always the mind. I found that when I can alter my mindset, when you can alter your mindset, you can do anything. You know, you can achieve what you want to achieve, but it is in acquiring that mindset that is where the real battle is fought. You know, when I did Cambridge for the first time, you know, the program, the Soul Source program, you know, you ate 550 calories a day, which was basically 4 products, and it was soups and shakes and bars and porridge, and they all came out of a little packet, and you were able to, sorry about the light, it's getting a little dark now, you were able to switch off that part of your brain that deals with real food, because you're not having any real food. You're literally eating out of your little box of products that you've got for the week, and that's your life there. That's your food life right there. And I was able to achieve that mindset, you know, for that first time. I did 7 weeks on that first stretch, and 7 weeks of 550 calories a day. I dropped weight like a mother, absolutely just, whew, you know, and, you know, 5 pounds a week, 6 pounds a week, 7 pounds a week, 3 pounds a week, you know, whatever. But it was always sloughing off that weight really quite quickly. And then, but ultimately, I just couldn't work through the stages to get myself out of trouble, because where the trouble lay was with my mind. Because once I was trying to change how I approach food, real food and stuff like that, I just wasn't able to do it. And you end up sort of just rebelling against yourself, and then, you know, you end up failing, you know, eating something you're not supposed to eat, and you then just think that you balls up your whole week, which in a way with Cambridge you have. You know, if you ruin your ketosis, you know, if you ruin your state of ketosis with too many carbs or whatever, you know, typically it's carbs that you'll crave, and you'll be stuffing your face with sandwiches and crisps and biscuits and chips, and then, you know, it doesn't matter even if you only have that one blowout, you know, and then get back on track the next day, your next weigh-in will be fucked. It's just the way it is. So I just felt that ultimately it hasn't worked for me, and no diet of that kind will. I have to approach it differently if I'm going to not be 20 fucking stone, which is what I was a few days ago. 20 stone 5, in fact. Now, late last year, I actually went and started to have some hypnotherapy about it, trying to get to the root problem, my relationship with food, my core issues with why I do the things I do, whether it be eat too much or eat the wrong things, etc., etc. And but I felt very peculiar, really. The lady I went to see was lovely. She was lovely. And I do believe that she can help people. I do believe that there is a lot of value in what she does and what she enables people to do in terms of, that suggestive state, hypnagogic state, and, trying to get to the root cause and deal with it. But I just felt very peculiar. I felt very aware all the time and very sort of feeling like you're almost, going through the motions or saying what you think you're expected to say because you can't think of, because you're not feeling anything or seeing anything. You don't know. I don't know. I felt that I couldn't tap into what she was asking me to do, and that I was kind of faking it in a way. But then again, it's almost as if I appreciate that. I think a lot of people feel like that, but I think part of that is to do with, that's how it is. It's like if you conjure something in your mind, that is the right thing. Whether you think you're potentially sort of proactively conjuring something rather than letting it flow, I'm not sure realistically if there's any real difference between the two things. But I felt a little bit fraudy. I felt a little bit uncomfortable. And like the problem was way big. It's all to do with my childhood. It's all to do with my relationship with my dad and him passing away last year and feeling like, I'm kind of potentially following in his footsteps health-wise, being so heavy and so I actually sort of I just stopped going and felt really down about it, but I thought, well, maybe I'll pick it up again at some point. But then of course, COVID happened and everything was shut down anyway, and lockdown happened, and that was that, and everything was kind of, so many things that we were dealing with, having, things like therapy, things like that were just nixed out of existence for the time being. So, right, we're gonna hit the same spot that we hit last time, where the lights will run out shortly. So I'm going to stop here for a moment. So anyway, I think there was some value in that, the idea of trying to get to the root problem, the root causes and triggers of your approach to overeating or whatever. And but for the moment I'm trying something different, something new, which it seems interesting. It's called Noom, and it's very simple, really. It's just to do with being very hands-on with, lots of things have had apps. Cambridge had an app, for a while. I mean, it when they rebranded, I think it went, but it's probably back now. They had an app, and you could log what you've had for meals and whatnot and stuff, but it wasn't it didn't have the the level of monitoring and encouragement that Noom seems to have built right in. It's baked into the kind of core principle of the thing, in that there's no products. You know, you're not buying anything from them other than the kind of the continued poking in the right direction, and you know, logging of meals and logging of exercise and logging of this, that and the other, and following the various articles and reading them, and the pop quizzes, and kind of getting this stuff, getting things into your permanent memory. Well, it's different, you know, and it's not a restrictive diet, so to speak. It's kind of, I have a calorie limit, or, you know, a calorie target for every day. So when I log my food, I know where I am in terms of my target. That's good, you know. So it's not. It means that nothing's out of the question, but it just, you know, means that some things are better to have than others, you know. So I don't know. You know, I can't be this heavy for much longer without it impacting my life more, you know, and my later life as well. You know, I'm not, you know, I'm okay now, so pretty much, but you know, if I go on like this, and you know, I can't remember how old my dad was when he became diabetic, but you know, I'm sure he was diabetic for at least 10 years or more. So that would give me roughly 10 years or so, or 15 years before, you know. Anyway, I'm not going to think like that too much, but I do want to kind of, I just want to be rid of it. And I don't mean the fat, because I obviously want to be rid of that, but I just want to be rid of the millstone. You know, it's a mill. I look like fucking, what's this? I look like Le Fantôme. It's just a millstone around your neck. It's just a thing that just, like a spectre. You know, it's a thing on your shoulder all the time. You know, and it's just horrible being unhappy all the time about this kind of thing. Unhappy with how you look, unhappy with how you feel. You know, just, it's such a cause of, you know, malaise, you know. It's not good. And but I don't want to get back to, you know, Slim Jim, you know, oh look, here are my abs and I'm wearing 32-inch jeans again. You know, I don't want to get back to that at a cost of, you know, eating like a squirrel every day for, you know, 5 months, and then just pinging back to, you know, right, I'm going to set off now, pinging back to, you know, even worse than before. You know, I don't want to be 21 stone, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. So, let us wrap it up there. I'm going to stay on the road, I think, yes, because I have more light this way. So, yeah, that's what I'm up to. I'm nooming. I am enjoying it quite a lot. The app, weighing myself every day, you know, and logging my meals, logging my exercise, doing my steps, you know, achieving my step target every day rather than every now and then like I was doing. So it's all good. And yeah, already seen a few pounds go, back under 20 stone. I'm in the middle of 19 stone 13, but still it's under. see where we go from here. Okay, to everyone else that is in the same or similar situation, I wish you well. I don't want to put you off any other kind of approach you might want to take. They can all work very well, just depending on who you are and how you deal with certain things, what your triggers are, etc, etc, etc. So it's all a case of trial and error. Suck it and see how it goes. Wish you well. Sorry about the light. And see you on the flip side.